Okay, so what if a company's biggest, most important message wasn't in some dry memo, but in a poem? I know, it sounds a little out there. But today, we're going to break down this really fascinating piece of corporate communication that actually uses a sonnet to tackle a huge question. What does it really mean to be human? Especially in a world that's all about systems and code.
You know, let's just start at the end. These are the final two lines of the entire message, and honestly, they're the key to the whole thing. This is the company's truest creed. The big idea that our messy, imperfect humanity isn't a bug. It's a feature. It's not something we need to fix, but something we absolutely desperately need.
So where in the world does a line like that come from? Well, it's not from a press release, it's not from an email. Nope, it's from a full 14-line sonnet, supposedly written by the board of directors for the entire company. Let's really take a look at this thing.
Right from the jump, the poem gets real. It acknowledges that feeling of frustration when things just don't work. But then it does something brilliant. It completely reframes what a mistake even is. It's saying, hey, when things break, you haven't betrayed anything. Those flaws, they're just symptoms of being human.
And then it connects this idea directly to the work itself, with this incredibly emotional line, code with passion, debug with our tears. Wow. The message here is that our greatest innovations don't come from getting it right the first time. They come from that messy, human cycle of trying, failing, and trying again.
The poem then makes this argument that true value, it isn't found in perfect, rigid systems. When the official rule book, the protocol, can't fix what's really broken, you have to look somewhere else. It suggests that real things, like justice and joy, are found by wading through the messy, unpredictable, and sometimes painful reality of just being human.
Which, of course, brings us right back to that powerhouse ending. It's framed as the company's truest creed, that our complicated, flawed, emotional humanity isn't just something to tolerate, it's essential. It is exactly what we need.
But here's the thing. This wasn't just some document to be read. Oh no, it was designed to be performed, to be felt, and the instructions for how it was supposed to be delivered are, in their own way, just as fascinating as the poem itself.
So they picked out one single line, this one right here, to really capture the entire theme, and they tasked a specific person, a guy named Jerry, with delivering it. And get this, the instructions for how Jerry should say this line are wow. It's a masterclass in what you might call emotional engineering. I mean, they specify everything. What he's wearing, a purple polo by the way, the mountain view behind him, the exact rhythm of his voice, it is all meticulously planned. And the goal here, it says, isn't to sound defeated. It's to give a profound, hopeful acknowledgement. Incredible, right?
So, this raises a huge question. You've got this deeply emotional poem on one hand, and these super specific performance notes on the other. Where did it all come from? You might guess it was some creative agency, but the real answer is way more systematic. There's an entire technical architecture behind all this art.
All right, let's pull back the curtain. Because this heartfelt message about being human, it was generated, validated, and enforced by a surprisingly rigid and technical system. This is where art meets algorithm. And here it is, the central paradox. The poem celebrates debugging with our tears, one of the most human things imaginable. But that very same poem had to pass through a Python script, filled with functions designed for cold, hard brand enforcement. It's raw emotion meeting rigid code. So inside this script, you find something called brand guardrails. And basically, it's just a strict list of words you can and cannot use. You can see here some of the old taglines are totally off limits. And here's the wild part. See that phrase, broken into breakthrough? You'd think that would fit perfectly with the poem's whole theme, right? Nope, it's on the deprecated list. This system does not mess around. This little piece of code is basically the gatekeeper. It's a function that scans the text, and if it finds any of that forbidden legacy brand language, it literally stops the whole process and throws an error. Every single piece of content, including this soulful sonnet, had to pass this automated test.
Okay, so this is the crucial point. The emotional poem and the rigid code, they're not fighting each other. They're partners. They're designed to work together to create this new and very modern kind of authenticity.
So what do we make of all this? This very strange mix of poetry and Python code. Well, it actually reveals a kind of playbook, a repeatable method for manufacturing authentic feeling messages that can be scaled up.
You can actually break it down into 4 steps. First, you define a core human value. Second, you build a technical system to protect it. Third, you express that value through art. And fourth, you engineer the delivery for maximum emotional punch. It's like a blueprint for what you could call engineered authenticity.
And when you step back, this whole thing suggests a really powerful idea. The goal isn't just to talk about our humanity. The goal is to build our systems, our code, our rules, our companies, with humanity as the core operating principle. It's about fusing that heartfelt expression with really disciplined execution.
So the final question this leaves us with is a big one. Think about the systems we build and live in every single day. Are they designed to control our messy humanity, or are they designed to serve, protect, and amplify it? That's a question really worth thinking about.